Hi, everyone. We have a really special project that we're doing this week, and I think it's one of the most fun projects, and it's one of my favorite projects that we'll do all year long. So we are going to be working this week with a couple of kindergarten classrooms, and we're going to be doing some really fun art with them. So I will share my screen with you now, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Okay. So we are doing a 3D paper chameleon project. And you can see on the screen here in my presentation that these are a couple of student examples of some chameleons that some of my students have done in the past. And these are really good examples of what those are going to look like. Ours are going to look just a little bit different. The shape of our head is going to be a little bit different on our chameleons, just because we don't have a ton of time to work with the kindergarten students on Thursday. So we're going to simplify the chameleon just a little bit to help the kindergartners out. Our very first step is to gather our materials. So some of the materials you're going to need is you're going to need at least 2 pieces of paper. I have 3 pieces of paper here, which I will get to that in a second. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need something to color with, whether that's going to be markers, colored pencils, or crayons. You can choose, it doesn't matter to me, whatever you and the kindergarten student want to work with on Thursday. You're going to need a glue stick, and you might want a ruler. The ruler is not necessarily required, but if you're having trouble making some of the creases in the paper, the ruler can help, and I can show you how to do that. So let's learn how to make it. I'm going to get you the screen here. Oops. All right, so these are some of my materials that we have laid out that we just went over. So you'll see you need at least 2 pieces of paper. We're going to use at least 2 colors on these today, but I have 3 pieces of paper here. I have a purple paper, a red paper, and then this is a piece of scrap green paper that I might use a little bit of. I'm not quite sure yet. So you can have as many colors as you like. You just need at least 2. Then I have my scissors, my ruler. These are some different coloring options. I'm not going to be using these today just for the sake of time, but you will get a chance to color these with the students. And then a Sharpie might help you, not required, but I like to use one. And then I have my glue stick. So let's get to making this. And our very first step is going to be to fold our paper. So we are making the body of the chameleon. So this is an example, another student example that I have. I really like this one. I think it's really fun color, but we are making the body of the chameleon. So this part right here. So our very first step to do that is to take our piece of paper, and we're going to hold it horizontally, and we're going to fold it right in half like this. And you can do that by lining up the ends and then dragging your finger back like this, and then making those creases. And after that, we're going to take this piece of paper, and one of the sides, you can see where we have our crease. You're going to fold one of the sides into that center crease. And you can line it up and go ahead and make another crease. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. And I think it's a really good idea for us to learn how to do this before we work with the kindergarten students on Thursday. That way you guys have a good idea of how to make it, and we can just jump right into making it rather than trying to figure out how to do it. So that's why we're doing this today. So now you can see with my piece of paper, I have 4 little sections on my piece of paper. So we're going to take it and fold it in half. And on the side where the paper bends, right here, we are going to cut along this side now using our scissors. So we are making the bendable back of the chameleon. So we're making all these little cuts here. And that allows the chameleon to kind of bend, right? Because chameleons can bend and they move and walk around. So taking our piece of paper and our scissors, we are going to cut along this side. So you want to make sure you're cutting on the side that the paper is connected, not this side. And we're going to make a bunch of little cuts here. And we're just going up to that line there, the center line. And so if you go a little bit past it, that's okay. I like to make more cuts. I feel like the closer together you make the cuts with the scissors, the easier the chameleon body bends. But we'll go ahead and do that. Speed mine up a little bit here. So take your time with this. We'll have 45 minutes to work with the kindergarten students on Thursday, so we'll have plenty of time to do these chameleons. But so now our next step is to get this together. So we have the body of the chameleon. And the way we're going to do that is by taking, this is what it looks like when we open it up. You have all these little kind of cuts in there, grooves. But to make the body of the chameleon, you're going to take the two pieces that we didn't cut and you're going to fold them one on top of the other, just like that, if that makes sense. So taking those two pieces and folding one on top of the other, you're going to be left with this, which we have our body. So you can see down the middle of it, and you can make sure it bends nice and easy. And now we're going to glue those together. So seeing where we just did that, I'm going to take this and take my glue stick, open it up and roll it up a little bit. And we're going to put some glue on just one of these sides of the bottom of the chameleon. This is going to be the belly of the chameleon. Like that. You don't need too much glue. A little bit goes a long ways. And we'll go ahead and put those two together. And I like to do that by grabbing each end and kind of lining up the ends first, and then kind of lining up the middle and then lining up the other end. And then I like to get my fingers in there and just kind of push like this on both sides. Get the sides locked in, then you can put it down. And to get this middle, you can see the middle can sometimes be hard to kind of get. So we can kind of do the end, and then if you need to, you can just kind of push down on the body of the chameleon a little bit and try to get your fingers in there and kind of get the glue to stick. All right, so our next step is our chameleon needs three things yet. We need we need some legs, we need a tail, and we need a head for our chameleon. So you can see the legs kind of look like this. And this chameleon, he's got each leg has three little toes. So I, just for the sake of time, already cut mine out. But how you're going to do that is you're going to take a piece of paper, whatever color you want your legs to be. And you can simply, this is where you can take your Sharpie or a marker and just kind of draw out some little chameleon legs for you. And I like to make my back legs a little longer than my front legs. But you can make the legs however big or small you want. So you draw yourself a couple of legs on a piece of paper, and then you can use your scissors and cut those out. But I already did that just for the sake of time. So I have two back legs, which I made a little bit longer, and then two little front, short little stubby legs. So we'll go ahead and glue those on now. And to glue those on, I like to put a piece of paper under mine. That way I don't get anything on my table. And you can just simply put a little bit of glue on the end. You don't need to glue the whole entire leg just because you're only sticking this little piece on. So this is going to be the back. So we'll go ahead and just stick them under like that and kind of push down. There's one leg. We'll do the same for the other side. Just a little bit of glue, a little bit goes a long ways. And we'll put it on there like that and kind of push. And we have two legs. Those are my front legs. And now I'll go ahead and stick my back legs on. A little bit of glue. Find where you want to put it. And stick it on. One more leg. All right. So we have four legs on our chameleon body. I have two back legs, which are back here, the longer ones, and then two front legs. So the glue sticks really fast. It will take a minute to kind of, because I can still move these around a little bit. It will take a couple minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before the glue is completely strong on there. All right, so now we have two more things to do. We need to make a head and a tail. So I like to make my tail first. So a tail, I'm going to draw one and cut one out here for you. To me, a tail looks like this. But you can make your tail like this if you want to, whatever you think would look best on your chameleon with the kindergartners. So I'll go ahead and cut my little tail out here. And the good thing about this video is you can pause this video. I'm recording it through Zoom, so you can pause the video. You can stop the video and finish your cuts, and then replay it when you're done. You can go back and watch it as many times as you would like until you're done making your chameleon and you feel like you understand how to make it. So I made my tail red. You can make your tail whatever color you want. If you want to color it with markers, that's okay too. So doing the same thing, just putting a little glue on the end of it. And the tail goes inside the body, just like that. Sticking my tail on. There we have a little chameleon tail. And our last thing is a head, which I already went and cut one out, but this is about the shape of what the head is going to look like. And it needs to be big enough to kind of fill the entire area on the inside of the chameleon. But if you make it too small, then it might look a little weird. So taking the head, and we're just putting a little glue on this back side here, just like that. We don't need to cover the whole thing, just where we're going to stick it down, and putting it inside the chameleon's body and just pushing down a little bit. And there's our head. We will have googly eyes in class on Thursday. So if you want to put googly eyes on your chameleon, which I'm sure the kindergarten students would love that, I think that would be a really good tool for you to use. But I don't have any googly eyes right now. I accidentally left them in the classroom. So today I'm just going to kind of draw with a marker, a couple of eyes on my chameleon. And then I'll draw a little chameleon mouth. And he's smiling because he's happy. All right. And there is the finished chameleon. So we have a tail, we have 4 legs, and a little smiley, happy chameleon head. And he bends, he is super fun. You can make one if you would make one before Thursday. You have 4 days to do it, and you can practice making one, and then make sure to bring your chameleon to school with you on Thursday. That way you can show the kindergarten buddy who you get paired up with your chameleon, and so they can be inspired to make one just like yours. And then we'll help them for about 45 minutes on Thursday. So super fun project. Make a couple chameleons if you want, bring them to class, show the classmates, and then we'll work with those kindergarten students. I'm super excited to see you all on Thursday, and I'm super excited to make these chameleons with you. So good luck. Have a good day.